Absolutely. Let's break down some key aspects of the great white shark, starting with their behavior, then moving through their biology, and finally, their conservation. 1. Behavior. Great white sharks are known for their solitary and migratory nature. They don't typically form large schools or groups like some other species of fish. Rather, they tend to live and hunt alone. Some key behaviors include hunting and feeding. They are apex predators with a varied diet that largely depends on the region they inhabit. They primarily hunt seals and sea lions, but also eat smaller marine animals, like fish, dolphins, and even whales on occasion. Great whites can bite with incredible force, using their sharp teeth to tear apart prey. Hunting tactics. They are known for their ambush style of hunting. The shark approaches its prey from below, often launching a surprise attack, especially when the prey is near the surface of the water. The great white may also exhibit breaching behavior, where it launches itself out of the water to capture prey. Their powerful bite is also used to deliver massive trauma to their prey. Territorial movements. While they are highly migratory, some great whites have been known to exhibit a level of territorial behavior, particularly around feeding grounds like seal colonies. They navigate across vast distances, often traveling from one coastal area to another, which is influenced by seasonal changes, food availability, and reproductive needs. 2. Biology. Great whites have evolved to be one of the most efficient predators in the ocean, and their biology supports this. Size and strength. The great white is a large, robust shark, with a muscular body designed for fast swimming. Its tail caudal fin is crescent-shaped, allowing it to swim powerfully and accelerate quickly. They can reach speeds up to 25 miles per hour in short bursts, particularly when attacking prey. Sensory systems. The great white has extraordinary sensory capabilities. Olfaction. Their sense of smell is unparalleled in the animal kingdom. They can detect blood and other chemicals in the water from miles away. Electroreception. They possess specialized organs called the ampulla of Lorenzini, which allow them to sense electrical signals emitted by living creatures. This is particularly useful for locating prey that may be hiding beneath the sand or in low visibility conditions. Vision. Their eyes are adapted to see well in low light conditions, helping them hunt in deeper waters and at night. They also have a reflective layer behind their retinas, the tapetum lucidum, enhancing their night vision. Reproduction. Great whites have a unique reproductive strategy. They are ovoviviparous, meaning their eggs hatch inside the mother's body, and the young are born live. After a gestation period of about 11 months, the females give birth to a small number of pups, typically 2 to 10, each already large and capable of surviving on their own. This low reproductive rate contributes to the shark's vulnerability in terms of population recovery. Longevity. Great whites can live for 30 years or more, with females generally living longer than males. This long lifespan, combined with slow reproduction, makes them particularly susceptible to population declines. 3. Conservation. Great white sharks are classified as vulnerable by the International Union for Conservation of Nature, IUCN, and their numbers are decreasing due to various human-induced threats. Overfishing. One of the primary threats to great white sharks is overfishing, either directly for their fins, teeth, or meat, or as bycatch in commercial fisheries. While great whites are not typically targeted for meat, their fins are valuable in the shark fin trade, and they often get caught in nets or lines meant for other species. Habitat destruction. Coastal developments and pollution affect the natural habitats of great whites, especially their breeding and feeding grounds. Noise pollution, for example, can disrupt their communication and hunting strategies. Climate changes. In ocean temperature and sea levels are altering the distribution of prey species and the sharks themselves. Warmer waters may push the sharks into different areas, potentially putting them in contact with more human activity. Legal protections. In some countries, great whites are now protected by law, prohibiting their capture and ensuring conservation efforts. For instance, in places like South Africa, Australia, and California, there are strict regulations around fishing, and some areas have designated shark sanctuaries. Conservation efforts and challenges. Conservation programs are working to mitigate these threats, with strategies including marine protected areas, MPAs. These are designated areas where human activities, such as fishing and development, are restricted to give the sharks space to thrive. Tagging and research. Scientists use tags to track the movements and behaviors of great whites. which helps identify migration patterns, feeding areas, and breeding grounds. This data is crucial for developing better conservation strategies. Public awareness, educating the public about the importance of great whites in the ecosystem, and dispelling myths about their danger to humans is vital in reducing fear and promoting shark conservation. Despite these efforts, much work remains to ensure the long-term survival of this species. Its position at the top of the food chain means that its health is directly tied to the overall health of marine ecosystems. Let's dive even deeper into the various fascinating aspects of the great white shark. For behavior expanded. Beyond their hunting techniques, there are some intriguing behaviors that demonstrate how highly evolved these creatures are. Social behavior. While great white sharks are generally solitary animals, they have been observed engaging in interactions with one another, especially around abundant food sources like seal colonies. During these times, multiple sharks might gather, but these gatherings are typically temporary and not indicative of any long-term social structures like those seen in some other shark species. Some researchers believe that great whites may communicate with each other using body language, such as postures and movements, though this is still not fully understood. Seasonal migration. Great white sharks are known to undertake long-distance migrations, often from cold waters to warmer waters. For example, some sharks in the northeastern Pacific will migrate between California and Hawaii, sometimes traveling thousands of miles. These migrations are believed to be linked to changes in water temperature, food availability, and reproductive cycles. However, the precise reasons behind their migration are still being studied, and there are hypotheses around environmental cues such as water temperature or seasonal movements of prey. Risk-taking behavior. Great white sharks are known for being incredibly bold and are not afraid to take risks when hunting. In fact, some sharks will even engage in risky behaviors like launching themselves completely out of the water to surprise their prey. This dramatic display, often associated with attacking seals, has led to dramatic footage, but it's also a highly energy-consuming effort. The shark needs to be extremely powerful to breach the surface, so this behavior is typically reserved for specific types of hunting scenarios. 5. Biology expanded. Let's take a closer look at their impressive anatomical features that make the great white shark such an efficient predator. Teeth and jaw structure. One of the most fascinating features of the great white shark is its tooth design. They have multiple rows of serrated teeth that are perfect for slicing through the tough blubber of seals and other prey. Unlike humans, sharks lose and grow teeth continuously throughout their lives. A single great white can go through thousands of teeth in its lifetime, with new ones emerging to replace the old ones. Energy storage and fat reserves. Great whites have large stores of fat, particularly around their liver, which helps them maintain buoyancy and survive long migrations. Their liver is particularly impressive, containing oil that acts as a buoyancy aid, allowing them to stay suspended in the water without expending much energy. This is important for conserving energy during long journeys across vast stretches of ocean. Efficient digestive system. Once a great white captures its prey, it often tears off large chunks before swallowing them. Their digestive system is designed to extract maximum nutrition from each meal. Their stomachs can handle large, fatty meals like seals, and they can digest a meal over several days. Interestingly, they can also survive on relatively little food, sometimes going weeks or months without eating, as they have evolved to be able to survive on infrequent but high-energy meals. Great white sharks have the ability to regulate their body temperature to an extent. Unlike most fish, they are endothermic or warm-blooded to a degree, meaning they can keep certain parts of their body, particularly their brain and eyes, warmer than the surrounding water. This adaptation allows them to hunt in colder waters where other fish might struggle. Their specialized circulatory system enables this, using a countercurrent heat exchange system that conserves heat. 6. Conservation expanded. Great white shark populations have seen significant declines due to human activities, and while there have been advances in conservation efforts, there is still a lot to be done. Threat of shark finning. Shark finning, the practice of catching sharks for their fins, is one of the most pressing issues for the great white shark population. In some parts of the world, fins are highly sought after for shark fin soup, a delicacy in several cultures, leading to widespread overfishing of sharks. Even though great whites are often protected, they are still vulnerable to poaching, and illegal shark finning operations are a serious issue. Shark netting. In some countries like Australia and South Africa, shark nets are used to protect swimmers and surfers from shark attacks. While these nets are designed to capture sharks near popular beach areas, they often catch other marine life as well, including endangered species like sea turtles and rays. The use of these nets can have unintended consequences for shark populations, and efforts are being made to balance human safety with marine conservation. Ecotourism. Interestingly, shark ecotourism is a growing industry, with many places around the world offering cage dives or boat tours, where tourists can observe great whites in their natural habitat. While this provides an incentive for conservation by showing people the importance of these creatures and fostering respect for them, it also comes with risks. Some believe that feeding or attracting sharks to areas for ecotourism can alter their natural behaviors, or make them more vulnerable to human interference. Still, well-regulated ecotourism efforts can help generate revenue for conservation efforts. Conservation successes. There have been some encouraging conservation efforts in recent years. For example, certain regions, such as the United States, South Africa, and Australia, have enacted stricter regulations regarding the capture and trade of great whites. Marine Protected Areas (MPAs) are increasingly being established in areas where sharks frequent, and there have been successful tagging and tracking projects to better understand their migratory patterns and habitat use. These efforts are contributing to a more comprehensive understanding of great white shark ecology and how best to protect them. 7. Cultural significance. Beyond their biological and ecological roles, great white sharks have also captured the public imagination. In popular culture, the great white shark became widely known through the blockbuster movie Jaws, 1975, which shaped much of the public's perception of the shark as a fierce and menacing creature. While this portrayal contributed to public fear and misunderstanding of the shark's nature, it also sparked interest in shark conservation, especially as we began to learn more about their behavior and role in ecosystems, myth and symbolism. In many cultures, sharks, including great whites, are seen as symbols of power, danger, and mystery. Some indigenous cultures see sharks as spiritual guardians or symbols of strength. In modern times, the image of the shark often evokes a sense of awe and fear, as well as respect for its prowess as a predator. Shark conservation movements. A growing movement is advocating for the protection and conservation of sharks, with many organizations dedicating resources to this cause. The global effort to protect the great white shark often goes hand in hand with the broader movement to protect marine biodiversity and fight against overfishing. Great, let's go into even more detail about some of the specific aspects you're interested in. Starting with the role of the great white shark in the food chain, their interactions with other marine species, and then we can touch on some of the latest technologies in shark conservation. 1. Role in the food chain. Great white sharks are apex predators, meaning they sit at the top of the food chain in their ecosystem. Their primary role is to regulate the populations of the species they hunt, ensuring a healthy balance in the marine food web. Here are some important points about their role. Regulation of prey populations, by preying on marine mammals like seals and sea lions, as well as fish species. The great white helps control the populations of these animals. This is crucial because overpopulation of certain species could lead to the depletion of resources in their habitat. For example, if seal populations grow unchecked, it could result in a depletion of fish stocks, which would affect other species higher in the food chain. Prey selection and health. The great white's hunting strategy often targets the weak, sick, or old individuals in prey species. This helps improve the overall health of the prey population by removing individuals that may be carrying diseases or genetic weaknesses. It's a form of natural selection, where only the strongest and fittest individuals survive, ensuring a healthier gene pool. Impact on marine ecosystem balance. As an apex predator, the great white shark also indirectly supports the populations of smaller marine animals that are preyed upon by the species it hunts. For example, by regulating seal populations, they may help reduce the pressure seals put on fish stocks or other smaller marine organisms. This ripple effect can influence a variety of species throughout the ecosystem. 2. Interactions with other marine species. Great white sharks don't live in isolation, and their interactions with other species can be complex. Competitors. Other apex predators, such as orcas killer whales, can sometimes compete with great whites for food. Orcas are known to prey on sharks, including great whites. One of the most fascinating behaviors observed is when orcas specifically target the livers of sharks. which are rich in nutrients and provide them with a high-energy food source. After being attacked by orcas, sharks have been seen abandoning their hunting grounds and moving to different areas, suggesting they avoid areas with high orca activity. Symbiotic relationships. While great whites are primarily solitary, some marine species benefit from their presence. For example, smaller fish like pilotfish and remorhous suckerfish often attach themselves to the great white. These smaller fish feed on leftover scraps of food from the shark's meals, and in some cases, the sharks may even benefit from having cleaner fish around that remove parasites from their skin. This is a mutualistic relationship, where both species gain something. Human interaction. Humans are one of the most significant threats to great white sharks. However, humans also interact with sharks in a variety of ways. Shark nets and fishing gear often trap great whites, but there is increasing awareness about the need to reduce bite. Shark ecotourism has grown in recent years, with many regions offering the chance to dive with sharks in a controlled environment. This has raised public awareness about the need for conservation and shifted some perceptions about sharks, moving away from fear to respect and admiration. 3. Latest technologies in shark conservation. The conservation of great white sharks has become a global priority, and there are several cutting-edge technologies being used to better understand and protect these animals. Satellite tagging and tracking. One of the most significant advancements in shark research is satellite tagging. Scientists attach small, durable tags to the sharks, which transmit data back to researchers about their movements, behavior, and environmental conditions. These tags have helped scientists map the migratory routes of great whites, providing invaluable information on their long-distance movements, seasonal migration patterns, and preferred feeding areas. This allows conservationists to identify critical habitats that need protection. Drones and aerial monitoring. Drones are increasingly being used to monitor shark populations, especially in coastal areas where human-shark interactions are more likely. Drones can safely and quickly scan large areas of water to track sharks and assess their behavior without disturbing them. In some places, drones are also used to spot sharks near beaches, providing early warnings to swimmers and surfers to avoid potential danger. Environmental DNA EDNA. Scientists have recently started using eDNA technology to track shark populations in an innovative way. By collecting water samples and analyzing the DNA left behind by sharks, researchers can detect their presence in an area without physically tagging them. This non-invasive technique is especially useful for studying elusive and rare species like the great white shark, where direct sightings are rare. eDNA can help scientists better understand where sharks are located, what they are eating, and how their populations are changing over time. Artificial intelligence and machine learning. AI and machine learning technologies are being used to analyze large data sets collected from satellite tags, drones, and other sensors. These technologies can help researchers predict shark behavior, including when and where they are most likely to be found, which is critical for both conservation efforts and minimizing human-shark interactions. Machine learning algorithms can process vast amounts of data to detect patterns that would be impossible for humans to identify on their own. Shark-proof nets and barriers. To reduce human-shark interactions, especially in places where sharks are common but people are still at risk, like popular beaches, researchers are developing shark-proof nets and barriers. These nets are designed to allow other marine life to pass through while keeping sharks out. However, there is ongoing debate about their effectiveness, as these nets can sometimes entrap other non-target marine species, and sharks are still known to sometimes find ways to breach them. Conservation, education, and outreach. Technological advances in media and communication have allowed for better public education and awareness regarding shark conservation. Virtual reality VR experiences and interactive websites now give people the chance to experience the world of sharks in a way that wasn't possible before. This can help reduce the fear and misconceptions surrounding these animals, encouraging more people to support shark conservation initiatives.